I guess I'll just go ahead and ask if you want to introduce yourself to people who are watching who don't know who you are.
All right. Well, my name is Rachel Chan. I'm 17 years old and I am from California, but right now I'm actually living in Tennessee. So I'm in Tennessee right now. Hello. And I released an album a few years ago. It's called Go. And it's kind of like a Christian pop album, and it was mainly for young Christian girls. But right now I'm pursuing music in a different way, and it's still Christian focused, but just kind of trying to figure out who I am as an artist. So, yeah.
Very cool. Well, we are so excited to have you here at the magazine. So my first question is, what inspired you to start pursuing music at such a young age?
Honestly, I don't remember a time that I didn't love music and didn't sing or play piano or try to play guitar, any of those things. I grew up taking piano lessons and my mother sang, so
Oh,
I just
cool.
always remember music being a part of my life, always.
Mm-hmm.
And it was more in the past 3 years or 4 years that I've been pursuing it more professionally, you could say.
Uh-huh.
And that led to a CD, and even the CD, it wasn't my own doing, it was totally the Lord. He had a friend um, of my family's contact me and ask if he could do it
Oh,
all.
wow.
So it was such a blessing. And then I started coming to Tennessee more, and then the more I came here, I just fell in love, and I loved that everybody did some kind of, music, and it was just exciting. So that's why I'm here now. I don't know how long I'll be here,
Oh,
but
cool.
yeah, it's really fun.
That's awesome. So how did your connection start with iShine? Because for those who don't know what iShine is, it's kind of like a Christian, version of Disney Channel. It has a really fun TV show and music tour and all kinds of cool stuff. So how did you get started with that?
Well, it started because after my CD, I had like a PR group, personal relations group that kind of helped me, get different like events booked, or they helped me talk to different magazines or things like that, TV shows. And it was one of my trips to Tennessee because they're based out of Tennessee, where she said, "Oh, I'm gonna have you go to lunch with this group. They're called iShine. You're gonna meet with the producers and they're gonna tell you what they're about." And
Very cool.
that was the very first time I'd ever heard of iShine. And when we went to lunch, the first time they told me, I remember being like, "That sounds really interesting. Like, I wish I would have known about it sooner. I'd never heard of it." And I decided, you know what, I'm gonna try it for like at least one season and just see what God says. Because my schedule was fine, so I was like, I may as well.
Yeah.
And so I went and filmed in Tennessee for about a month for their sitcom, and then I went on tour with them because I ended up making great friends. I loved their heart. It was so much fun, and now I'm there like with the producers all the time. They become some of my mentors, and one of my best friends is on iShine. She's part of the Rubies, which is a singing group on iShine, and I'm actually in her house right now. But she's like my best friend. So God did so much through just that season of me trying it out.
Wow. Very cool. So what was your first day like on set? Were you nervous, or how did that go?
My first day, because I arrived at the airport, I think at nighttime, and I think the Rubies, Olivia and Alexis, picked me up from the airport. And then the next day, they kind of debriefed me, gave me a script, told me to read it over, told me that tomorrow we would just be script reading. So I didn't really know what that meant. I was like, okay, well, I know how to read, know what a script is, so I should be fine. So it was actually totally fine. I was very much like didn't know who anybody was, but everybody was very welcoming, and it ended up just being the first day was just reading scripts, so you kind of just get to know who everybody is. So it was never like that scary, especially because Alexis and Olivia were so welcoming when I first met them. I didn't think I'd have a problem.
Very cool. So had you had any previous acting experience, or was that your first time in front of cameras?
Well, my dad, he does some filming for his books. He does some series for the books that he's written, like for discipleship and for Bible studies. And sometimes they come and film at our house, and sometimes we're on camera. So I mean, I wasn't like opposed to the idea because I've constantly seen my dad on camera, and I mean, I've been filmed, just from singing whenever he would speak at different places around the world. So it wasn't, but it was the very first time I'd ever done like a sitcom. But I have taken acting classes in the past because I had a good friend that was teaching in my hometown. So yeah.
Very cool. So let's see what other questions we have. I guess my next question is, for a girl who desires to kind of pursue the same thing that you have, whether it be music, acting, just being involved in media and the arts, it would be really easy to look at your life and be like, oh my goodness, she's living her dream. She's singing, she's acting, she's on TV. I mean, that's so exciting. But do you feel like in your heart and in your mind, do you feel like, oh my goodness, I am living my dream? Or do you have bigger goals that you're trying to go towards?
Honestly, I don't feel like everything that I'm doing right now, I love. I am having so much fun. But it's not like I feel like it's like I'm having so much fun because it's singing and because it's acting. Like they're just things that I enjoy doing. Like I feel very much like a normal high school graduate who is like, what am I doing with my life? What am I supposed to do? Like I don't feel like everything I'm doing right now is what I want to do forever. So as much as I love what I'm doing because I have a peace about, God just kind of leading me wherever he wants me to go since I'm not in college right now. But I'm certainly still trying to figure out what God has for me. And I think that's part of why I moved here to Tennessee, because I'm really not sure if music is what he has for me for forever, or for as long as I'm on earth. And I would love to one day be a mom, and I'd love to be a wife, because I know my parents' marriage is so awesome, and I want what they have one day. So I'm still trying to figure it out. I feel like I'm just in the same boat as everybody else.
Right.
I'll figure it out. I love what I'm doing, but it doesn't mean I want to do it forever.
That's an awesome answer. So let's see what else we have. I guess that was my next question, is what other goals you might have as far as just like, what are your other interests? What do you like to do that you might like to do in the future?
I thought about going to college and studying piano. I love piano. I've been playing since I was like 6 years old. I'm a piano teacher. I teach younger students, beginners, and I love to write music, which I feel is different than just playing and performing. And I've I feel like in the last month I've kind of weighed every single possibility for my life that I can think of. I'm like, should I go to beauty school? Should I move to Thailand? Should I work for a ministry? Should I stay in San Francisco? Should I, I literally, there's so many things that I feel like I love to do, but mainly music and working with inner city young women, and I love the inner city. I grew up in Southern California. I lived there for 14 years, but then we moved to San Francisco, and we've been working in the inner city up in NorCal, and that's been pretty insane, very intense, and I love it. I just feel like the Spirit speaks to me so specifically daily, because you're just constantly, there's something new, and you could never rely on your own wisdom, because it's not like I grew up in that, so I don't know totally. I have to totally rely on God to give me just like a supernatural ability to relate and to love. So I love the inner city, and I can totally see myself doing that for a long, long, long time. So.
Wow, that's cool. That must be such a challenge to just rely on the Lord for that. That's really cool. So let's see what else we have. We have a couple fun questions.
Okay, I like that.
If you could work with Disney Channel, like if they just randomly called you up, is that something you'd want to do or not?
I don't know. I've thought about it, because I've kind of I've had people that have been like, I can get you hooked up, and I'm like, I don't know. There are certainly, to everything like that, like Disney Channel or working in the industry, even just music industry in general, like there's always like, people want to look at it as black and white, but I do feel like as much as Disney Channel is not like for God and like proclaiming God's name, it's still I do think there is like a capability of being a Christian on a show like Disney Channel. And I think that I don't know who is or who isn't, but whoever is a Christian on Disney Channel, I mean, bravo to them. I don't know that I could do that. I feel like it would be a struggle to be surrounded by people that were just working towards fame.
Right.
And so, yeah, I really don't know. It would be a long process of prayer and seeking out counsel. But I'm not like opposed to the idea.
Cool. So, if you could travel anywhere in the world, where would you want to go?
Oh goodness. I, by the Lord's grace, have been to a lot of places. Been to 6 continents.
Wow.
So I have not been to Antarctica yet. But I think I would just revisit Thailand. I love Thailand. The people there are just so servant-hearted, and they just give out of their love that they just have naturally as people. So I love the atmosphere. I've been twice.
Wow.
And it's just beautiful.
Very cool. So, what do you like better, coffee or tea?
Coffee. Although I love tea, I love my coffee.
Would you rather spend a day shopping or reading?
Can I do like half reading, half shopping?
I guess so.
I mean, shopping's great. I also love to read. I don't know. I can hardly choose.
I know, it's a hard one. I guess I kind of already asked you that. If you could picture your life, anything, 10 years from now, what would you be doing? But this is like, you can dream as big as you want, and yeah.
Well, I'd be 28 because I'm turning 18 very soon. Goodness. Where do I see myself in 10 years?
Well, yeah, if your life could look like anything, what would it look like?
Gosh. I really don't know. I think I would say, I mean, just from my naive standpoint, that I would hopefully be working in the inner city. I would love to be married, but if that's not what he has for me, then I'm sure he has something else. But yeah, I see myself working in the inner city, and I probably have children by then.
Very cool. I know that's kind of a difficult question.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you have like the place that you're at right now, you're able to influence a lot of younger girls. And that's something our magazine loves. We love to connect with young ladies who, have that influence and kind of have like a big sister role to little girls. Have there been like moments in your life that you've realized, wow, I really do have such a huge impact on younger girls? And if there have been, like, are there any special moments that kind of stand out in your mind?
Yeah, there are 2 moments I can actually think of from that. I mean, I've never like sat back and been like, wow, you have such a great voice and generation. But I know like I'm the oldest of 5,
Okay.
and I have 3 little sisters and 1 little brother. And my little sister Mercy, who is turning 14, she like there's just such a dramatic change in our relationship and in the person that she was when I started treating her with just love and sisterly respect. She's 4 years younger than me, but she is so wise. And when she was younger, when I was like, when she was probably 4 and I was probably 8, for a few years we really didn't get along, and I was not a good sister at all. And just being able to see how much when I do love on her and when I am able to really care about her day and care about who she is and what she likes and who she is as a person and how God has set her apart, and I take time to get to know that, I see her blossoming and just becoming this young girl who cares about how other people are doing, and she has so much love in her heart, and I feel like it's been really humbling and the most encouraging experience as far as a personal seeing somebody younger than me growing, and I see how she learns from me and learns from my mistakes, and it's a very heavy, task. But I love it. I love being a big sister. It's one of my favorite things. And I can think of another time when, I guess more specifically, this was a long time ago when I wasn't following God. When I remember one of these young girls in my youth group got up and talked about how there was a time when she walked away from God because she saw somebody else that was doing the same things, that was sinning, and she told me later that it was actually me, that because she had seen me in such a higher position, like, her pastor's daughter,
Right.
Living in such a way that she was like, oh, then I can live that way too. And that was a while ago, and God has done so much redemption work in my heart, and Ashley and I are good friends. But it's so true that everybody has people in their lives that are looking up to them, and just watching the way that they act, especially because they've taken on the name of Christ. But I mean, I don't sit back and think a whole lot about the weight of my voice in the younger generation, but I certainly want to live in a way that is full of integrity, and I want to be a role model.
Mm-hmm. That's so good, because what you're saying is we don't have to have a stage to have an influence, just with our family and our friends and the younger girls that we know, we all have a really big responsibility. So that's really encouraging to hear that, and also very sobering too, to remember those people in our lives that we have that much of an influence.
Yeah.
So that's really good. Cool. Well, I guess that's kind of all my questions. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Is there anything else that you would like to share? I mean, if you can just tell everyone something, maybe something the Lord's been showing you lately, or.
Well, I would love to reiterate that making disciples is so important. I think what God's been teaching me, like, every day for the past year, 2 years maybe, is just the emphasis on making disciples. And I would just encourage you, if you're in a place where you feel like you don't see God move, and there's a difference between seeing Him change somebody, because that takes a miracle every time, but being able to see Him move in your own life, and being able to put yourself in situations where you have to rely on the Spirit, I think in doing that, that's when you're going to experience fullness of life. And so I just want to specifically let you know that I'm only 17. It's not like I have all this great wisdom to offer you, but from what God has given me, I have seen and can tell you that it's very true that when you go and make disciples, He is with you, and you will see Him move in new and fresh ways every day. So I would really just encourage you to make disciples and be bold, and remember that eternity is right around the corner.
Wow, that's really good, because so often, like, we can talk about all these different topics. We can talk about clothes and boys and modesty, and it's all good stuff, but but it always comes back to, the Great Commission and doing what the Lord actually told us to do. So I think that's really encouraging that you're reminding us, and promoting, hey, don't forget, it's all about making disciples, and, we could probably talk for a long time about that, because then it's like, well, how do you make disciples? What is that supposed to look like? Because it's not something that that a lot of churches talk about, really. I mean, there's so many other topics that they like to hit, and we kind of miss that. Yeah, but anyway, I've so enjoyed talking with you.
You too. It's been great.